Yeah, I just watched Joshua's interview with that Kugan. What do you think? What do you think of that interview there? You know, Joshua, he was in Dubai, you know, supporting the Black Critter. You know, he had a little silly fight, didn't he, with a little nobody. You know, Joshua, he said that he used to train with the Black Critter. So Joshua was there, you know, showing his support. Do you think those two have got, like, similarities? I don't know. You can't really call Joshua the Black Critter 2.0, can you? You can't really call him that, can you? But you kind of can, can't you? Because, like, you know, his fight with Usyk, he didn't really show that killer instinct, you know? He didn't show that, you know, that fucking winner's mentality. He just kind of, I don't know, he kind of pussied out, didn't he? You know, Carl Froch, when he was behind against Jermaine Taylor, he just went for the kill, didn't he? You know, and he got the stoppage victory, you know, in the last round. Even though he was really behind on the scorecards. You know, the contradiction Froch, he like shown that killer instinct and he shown that he really wanted the victory against Jermaine Taylor. Yeah, but you know, Joshua, he didn't really show that same kind of desire to win, that same kind of killer instinct, you know, when he was all over the place on the ropes against Usyk. So, I don't know, Joshua and the Black Critter, the original Black Critter, they're kind of similar, aren't they? So yeah, Joshua, he was in Dubai and Kugan got an interview with him, you know, just as he was about to leave the venue. And Joshua said this.
I've got to ask you, have you been approached about moving away from your rematch with Usyk to allow Tyson Fury to fight him?
I think people know not to approach me with that rubbish.
There's something that you would never consider for no amount of money.
Let me be real with you, yeah? At this stage of my career, it ain't about the money. It's about the respect. You ain't got to like me, but you will respect me. Second thing is to go down as a throwback fighter, someone who was willing to fight the best in their division. And that's why I still, till this day, will fight anybody, because I think that will be part of my legacy. But let me be real with you, I want to be known as one of the smartest businessmen as well, because I used to watch the likes of Tyson, Holyfield, Bo, and like, you know, we all know the stories of even NFL players, basketball players. We make some bad decisions. So I wanted to make sure that I made the smart moves when it comes to this business.
Yeah, so Joshua's basically saying, like, you know, Holyfield getting fucked up in Triller, you know, getting in there at the age of nearly 60 years old, you know, and getting smacked up by an MMA fighter. You know, Holyfield, he was like a undisputed cruiserweight world champ, you know, he was a heavyweight world champ, you know, and then he fucking came back to boxing, you know, at the age of 60 and got smacked up, you know, by some MMA fighter, you know, because he like had a load of divorces and he had a load of kids, you know, and he was paying out a load of child support. So that's kind of what Joshua's referencing there, innit? So Joshua's kind of saying, I think he's like stuck, you know, not stuck, but he's like trying to make a decision between being a throwback fighter and just fighting anybody and then being a smart businessman. So he's kind of hinting that he probably would step aside, you know, he'd probably take the step aside money. But like, what if Tyson Fury smacks up Usyk like we all expect? I don't know, I think he's just got to go in there straight with Usyk. You know, if Tyson Fury fucks up Usyk and then Joshua fights Usyk, just say if he beat him in the rematch, people would say, yeah, but Tyson Fury beat the fuck out of Usyk, you know, and he wasn't the same after. That's what people say, don't they? Same with Klitschko, you know what I mean? People say that Joshua, when he beat Klitschko, he wasn't the same Klitschko after Tyson Fury mentally fucked him up. You know, with his hands down by his side and sticking his tongue out and all that, he mentally fucked him up. You know, took his titles away. So Joshua beat Tyson Fury's leftovers. So you gotta fight fucking Usyk straight away, man. You have to fucking get in there straight away. Forget all this step aside money, you know, and, oh, I'm a smart businessman, yeah. You know, Holyfield fucked up. Yeah, he did. Holyfield is a tragic story. You know, fucking around with all these women and getting them all pregnant and paying out a load of child support and a load of divorce settlements, you know. So Holyfield is a tragic story, innit? But I don't know, like, Joshua needs to forget about Holyfield and Mike Tyson and Riddick Bowe, and he needs to like try and look at Lennox Lewis. You know, when he got smacked up by Oliver McCall. You know, and then he came back then and made Oliver McCall cry. So that's what Joshua's got to do. Not think, oh, I need to be a smart businessman and take step aside money. No, it's not good enough. You need to try and be like Lennox Lewis. You know, when he smacked up Hasim Rahman. You know, when Hasim Rahman knocked him out in South Africa. Joshua needs to do that, don't he? He needs to like stamp his authority on Usyk. And not wait for Tyson Fury to beat the fuck out of Usyk, you know, and make him half the fighter that he was. Joshua needs to get him straight away. So it's like he's kind of a bit all over the place, isn't he? You don't know whether to go for the money or the respect. But it's got to be respect. How much fucking money have you got? Joshua's probably made more money than Lennox Lewis, to be honest. He has, hasn't he? Because Lennox Lewis was around like 15 years ago. And the money probably wasn't that good back then compared to what it is now. So Joshua's probably got more money. And that's what Joshua actually said. He said that like Lennox is like jealous, you know, because he didn't make the same kind of money as him. But that's not the case. I think Joshua's jealous of Lennox, to be honest, you know, because he was undisputed. You know, and Joshua is kind of failing to, you know, overcome the hurdles, the obstacles that are in front of him. But Lennox Lewis did, didn't he? So I think Joshua's jealous of Lennox Lewis, not the other way around. But Joshua's got more money than Lennox. So why is he still fucking talking about money? Yeah? Holyfield. He's saying, oh, you know, I look at these old boxing legends and see how they ended up. Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Riddick Bowe, they were all broke. They made silly financial decisions. Holyfield, he fucked up, you know, getting smacked up on Triller at the age of 60. But like I said before, Holyfield, he was just fucking around with all these women, you know, getting them all pregnant. You know, spending a load of money on child support and divorce settlements. But Joshua's not really like that, is he? You're not a fucking cokehead, are you, like Mike Tyson? You're not realistically going to blow all that money, are you? You know, Joshua, he seems more on the ball, you know, than Mike Tyson was back in his career. So Joshua, you've made enough money. You've got all these fancy sponsorship deals. So you need to fucking go for redemption, you know, and not step aside against Usyk, you know, and fucking pussy out. So I don't know if Joshua kind of knows that he's not going to beat Usyk. Yeah. So he's willing to take step aside money. You know what I mean? Is he deliberately avoiding the rematch? Because he knows if he loses the rematch, he's pretty much finished, isn't he? You know, he's going to have to fucking pack it in, innit, and go into pantomime like Frank Bruno, innit? He's behind you. You know, that's what Joshua's going to have to start saying, innit? You know, when he gets beat by Usyk in the rematch, he's going to have to do that, innit? He's going to have to go into pantomime, innit? It's a bit degrading, innit? Who's that woman there? She looks alright, don't she, that woman? Somebody posted that photo of Joshua on Instagram the other day. Yeah, who's that woman there? She looks alright, don't she, that woman? She looks quite nice. That was in Dubai. She's quite nice, that woman, isn't she? What do you think? He kind of deserves a nice looking woman, don't he, Joshua? You know, even though he got smacked up by Usyk and Andy Ruiz, and, you know, his poetry's not that good, is it? He kind of deserves a nice woman, you know, because he's got the bag. He's got that money on it. Is she some kind of celebrity? Do you lot know who she is? I don't know who that is. She looks alright though, don't she? What would you say, like 8 out of 10? 8, 9? I'd say about 8, 8.5 out of 10. She's a decent looking woman, isn't she? But like I've said before, you can make any woman look nice. You know what I mean? Look at that. You know, I've shown these photos before on my channel, you know, about these fucking women with all their makeup and all their fake eyelashes and their hair extensions and all that. So, you know, when you say a woman's nice, you're not being 100% accurate, because it's an illusion a lot of the time, you know what I mean? A lot of them aren't nice. You know, there's a saying, you can make a turd look good. You know, and a lot of these women are turds that have put fucking fake eyelashes on and hair extensions and makeup. So a lot of silly, desperate, naive men will slide into these women's direct messages on Instagram and say, oh, you're beautiful, you're stunning, wow, you're amazing. Do you know what I mean? You know, a load of fucking dumb, desperate, naive men. You know what I mean? A lot of these women are fake. I'm not having a go at women, I'm just talking about those women, you know, who are stuck up, you know, and arrogant, and they think they're really nice, you know, and they're not. They're fake, but they fucking look down on some men, you know, thinking they're above it, you know, acting like they're some big time fucking divas, you know, thinking they're really nice, acting all stuck up. They're the kind of women I'm talking about. You know, those fucking arrogant ones who think they're nice because they've got fucking makeup on and fake eyelashes. They act a bit cocky, don't they, some of them? So a lot of the time it's an illusion. They're not really that nice. I don't really compliment women that much anymore, because I know a lot of the time, you know what I mean, all they do is like watch a YouTube makeup tutorial video, you know, to learn how to put makeup on properly and make themselves look nice. So I don't really get fooled by the illusion of women being nice. Obviously some women are naturally nice, innit, but a lot of it's fake. But yeah, who's that woman with Joshua? I don't know who that is. She looks a bit like the Skype wanker's wife, don't she? Have you noticed? She really looks like the Skype wanker's wife, you know what I mean? And that kind of makes a bit of sense, don't it? Because Joshua allegedly fucked the Skype wanker's wife, didn't he? There were very, very strong rumours that were going around in boxing, you know, that Joshua fucked the Skype wanker's wife. And you know, the Skype wanker, he was like complaining about it on Twitter one day, saying, left my family and friends for this Farrell. I'm not hurt, but another fighter. I'm making it public. You getting the divorce, #gold digger. So, you know, the Skype wanker, he was like fucking making a fool of himself on Twitter, wasn't he? You know, because his wife Farrell allegedly fucked Joshua. And you know that woman that Joshua's with there, it kind of looks like the Skype wanker's wife, don't it? So there might be a bit of truth to it. You know, because that seems like Joshua's kind of woman, don't it? You know, you can see the similarities between those two women, can't you? Yeah, he's fighting Kell Brook now, isn't he? What's all that about? It's a bit late, isn't it? It's a bit late, man. But what do you think? Who's going to win that? I still don't think it's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? We've heard it all before, you know, from the Skype wanker. He's fucking told us a load of shit in the past. You know, it's like the boy who cried wolf, innit? You know, after a while, you don't believe him. So I still feel like it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You know, because we've heard it all before. You know, I need to see him on the way to the ring. If I see him on the way to the ring, I'll think, you know what? They might be getting ready to fight each other, you know. But until I see him on the way to the ring to fight each other, I'm still a bit skeptical. You know, that the fight will even happen. But we'll see. We'll see. What do you think anyway? I've been watching a few of the interviews and that, and you know, this whole, you know, we're not past it, you know, we're the same age as Terence Crawford, and he's one of the best pound for pound boxers in the world, so we're not past it. We're the same age as Crawford, you know. I'm not really having that, to be honest. You know what I mean? You can't really try and sell it based on that, you know, because it's like, you might be the same age as Crawford, but it's not about the actual age, is it? It's about miles on the clock, you know, wear and tear, how you live your life. You know, the Skype wanker, he's been knocked out a few times, hasn't he? He's got his little poppadom chin. But Kell's kind of got poppadom eye sockets, hasn't he? But Kel's kind of saying that he's now got metal plates, you know, in his eyes. So his eyes are stronger than ever. So we'll see in it. But, you know, this whole, oh, we're the same age as Terence Crawford, one of the best pound for pound boxers in the world, so we're not past it. I'm not having that. Because like I say, it's how you live your life, innit? You know what I mean? Like, you know, the Skype wanker, he called Kell Brook a blob, didn't he? A blob. You know, and we kind of heard about the stories about Kell not really being that disciplined in his career, you know, going up and down in weight. You know, and the Skype wanker, you know, he's been doing these little silly reality TV programs on it, you know, trying to desperately become famous and a celebrity. You know, but Crawford's not like that, is he? He's disciplined. He's just all about boxing. You know, he doesn't balloon up in weight, does he? He don't even get punched hardly. You know, even that fight with Sean Porter the other day, you know, he didn't really get hit that much at all. So he's quite fresh. He hasn't got miles on the clock. You know, but Kell and the Skype wanker, they've been stopped a few times, haven't they? So Terence Crawford, he's fresh. You know, he might be the same age as them, but it's not the same, is it? It's not the same, man. He's lived the life. It's like Bernard Hopkins, you know, when he was in prison, he was just like almost preserved. You know, he was away from alcohol, partying, late nights. You know, he was just living a strict life, wasn't he? No alcohol, no posse, no late nights, no drugs. So he was kind of preserved, you know, in prison. So he was able to box, you know, into his 50s, you know, at a good high level. He wasn't getting punched in prison. He might have got involved in a few scraps, but I mean, as far as like boxing, you know, he probably didn't box in there, did he? He said that he used to run around the prison yard, you know, so he didn't get raped. He said he used to run around in circles, you know, in the prison yard to avoid getting raped, because he wanted the other prisoners, you know, to think that he was mentally fucked. He wanted the other prisoners to think that he was mentally deranged, you know, so they won't mess with him, because he'd be a bit wary. That's what he said. So Bernard Hopkins living like that, running around the yard, being away from alcohol, drugs, posse, late nights. You know, it preserved him, you know, and he was able to box, you know, until he was really old. You know, and then he got knocked out the ring, didn't he? But that was right at the end of his career. So his old age caught up with him eventually, but he was able to box, you know, at a good level into his 50s. You know, and the same probably applies with Crawford, innit? But it's not really the same for the other two, is it? They probably haven't been as disciplined as Crawford. You know, Khan, he was like saying, oh, I used to tie one hand behind my back and just school Kell in sparring, you know, when we were 15. I used to school him, you know, 20 years ago. It's fucking old news, isn't it? It's 20 years ago. Who gives a fuck? I used to school him. I schooled the Skype wanker in sparring, yeah? And he sacked me. He told me not to come back. He gave me like £20 a round, yeah? And I went there. And I jabbed him up, kept it long, he couldn't do anything. This is when I was on it as well. I was kind of in good shape back then. I was living the life, no alcohol, no posse, just living the life. And I went to Bolton and sparred with him and just messed him up. You know, when he told his trainer to tell me not to come back, you know, the next day. Because I was supposed to do like 3 days. But, you know, after the first spar, he told his trainer to tell me not to come back. So I didn't go back. But I schooled him, you know what I mean? But it don't mean anything. He's obviously gone on and won a world title. You know, and I didn't do anything in boxing after that. So it don't really matter, does it, about sparring? I don't know why he's talking about schooling Kell in sparring 20 years ago when they were 15. Who gives a fuck? It's old news, isn't it? Silly talk, innit? He's trying to sell the fight based on a spar when they were 15. But it's not really doing it, is it? Khan saying that Kell's like jealous of him, you know, because of his celebrity life. You know, because he's been on these little silly reality TV programs. You know, he's saying that Kell's just jealous. But I don't think that's true, you know. Like, Kell's not really about that, is he? You know, when Kell was at his prime, you know, when he was world champ. You know, he could have got on these little silly reality TV programs, you know, like Audley Harrison. and that little silly, little weird, little odd, little fucker, Kelly Maloney. You know, Kel could have gone on those kind of programs, you know, when he was at his prime. You know, anyone can get on those kind of programs, you know, if you got a little bit of celebrity about you. You know, Kel could have gone on those kind of programs, you know, if he really wanted to. You remember Heavy D? He was on Big Brother one day, and like, no disrespect, you know, I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but they just let anybody, you know, on these kind of silly reality TV programs. So, you know, Kell Brook, he could have got on those kind of reality TV programs, but he chose not to. So I don't think Kell's about that celebrity life like the Skype wanker is, you know what I mean? Even like Kell Brook on like Instagram, he don't really post anything, does he? You know, he don't really post photos saying, everyone look at me, everyone look at me. Look at what I'm doing, everybody, look at me. He's not really like that, is he? He don't really post much, you know, on his social media. And like, you know, I've only seen him out one time, you know, in town. And I used to go out all the time in Sheffield, you know, on nights out, getting drunk, just fucking banging random slags. I used to do that all the time, and I'd never seen Kell Brook out. I seen him out one time, and that's it. So it's not like he's out and about, you know, saying, yeah, look who I am. Look at me, everybody. Yeah, I'm a world champ. You know, when he was world champ. You know, I never really seen him out and about like that. So he's kind of low key. I don't think he wants the celebrity life. You know, I never used to see him in the clubs. I just don't think he's into the celebrity lifestyle. You know, he went to the Jeremy Kyle show, didn't he? But he was just sat in the crowd, you know, he wasn't trying to get on stage, you know, trying to get attention. He was just sat there, you know, watching, you know, enjoying the drama. So, yeah, I don't think Kelly's jealous of the Skype wanker's celebrity status. You know, in being on these silly programs. I don't think Kel wants that life at all. But yeah, who do you think's going to win this? I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? You don't really know where they're at in their careers, do you really? You don't know how much they got left, do you really? You don't know. Khan, you know, I remember watching a video of him, you know, having a hard spar years ago in Freddie Roach's gym. He was having like a war, you know, in the gym, in sparring, and that was like years ago. So, you know, it all takes its toll, you know, it adds up, it puts miles on the clock. So he's got a lot of wear and tear on him. And you know, his little poppadom chin, you know, it would have got worse, you know, as he's got older. You know, his punch resistance, it would have diminished even more, wouldn't it? But we'll see. Like I say, I'm still not even 100% certain that the fight happens. It's in about 10 weeks. And like, you know, Eddie Hearn, he's a bit upset, isn't he? You know, because he's not a part of it. He tried to like make an offer, but his offer got declined, you know, and he's a bit upset about it. So he's trying to slander the show, innit? He's trying to diss it. Yeah, he's trying to diss it. But people are more interested in this fight than they are Conor Benn against Chris Algieri. I'm telling you. If both of those two were like pay-per-view events, Kell Brook against Khan and Conor Benn against Algieri, Kell Brook versus Amir Khan would get more pay-per-view buys. So it's a bigger fight, innit? And Eddie Hearn knows it, you know what I mean? So I think Eddie Hearn is going to try and sabotage it, you know, because he's not a part of it. He's been dissing it, hasn't he? He'll try and sabotage it, you know, like he did with Liam Williams against Chris Eubank Jr. You know, Eddie Hearn, yeah, he probably like said to Liam Williams, I'll give you a bit of cash if you pretend to have an injury and put the fight back a month so it doesn't clash with Conor Benn's fight with Chris Algieri on the same night. But that's what Eddie Hearn did, didn't it? He seems like that kind of guy, you know, a bit snidey and that. He seems a bit snidey sometimes, don't he, Eddie Hearn? So I think that's what happened there. So he might try and sabotage, you know, Kell Brook versus Amir Khan. But we'll see what happens anyway. Kind of looking forward to it a little bit, you know. Better late than never, innit, I suppose. See if Khan's little poppadom chin can hold up to Kell Brook's punches. He's quite heavy-handed, you know, Kell is. And like, you know, when you get hit like that, you know, it's got to have an effect on you, hasn't it? You know, it's got to take away your punch resistance, you know, getting knocked out like that time and time again. So we'll see what he's got left. But yeah, that will do, you know. Thanks for tuning in again, yeah. Yeah, thanks for that.